Welcome to the Veterans of Verdansk tournament powered by eFuse.gg. I'm your host, OG Pickle. What's up, guys? Good to see you again. And tonight we come live to you from the E-Arena for this exciting event. And while we take a break from the action and excitement going on tonight, we wanted to sit down with some of our players in tonight's event. And with me tonight are some very special guests, Lieutenant Aaron R. Jones, a member of the United States Navy and prominent player for the Navy's own esports team, Goats and Glory. We also have veteran Luke Wade, a former heavy equipment operator of the Army National Guard and founder of the Community Creator. And Tech Sergeant Mike Sullivan, co-founder of Air Force Gaming and now member of the United States Space Force. And finally with us, we have Sergeant First Class Chris Jones, General Manager of U.S. Army Esports. We've got a great group here tonight. And if you'd like to learn more about their projects, participation, and all things they've done in esports, you can click the accompanying links provided. Gentlemen, welcome, and thanks for taking the time to speak with me today. What's up?
What's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey. As we have some great minds in the room tonight, and I'd love to hear from each of you. We'll start with Luke. You had this concept of creating an event that not only honored the nation's active and veteran military members, but also incorporated esports into the equation. For the viewers watching tonight, can you give us some insight into why you wanted to create this event?
Give a big shout out to eFuse. They've been absolutely amazing, and thanks for putting this all together. After the pandemic hit, I used to be a gamer my whole life growing up. I bought every new gaming platform that came out. Me and my brother actually started mowing lawns just so we could buy all the games that we wanted. And so, when the pandemic hit, we all started looking internal. My background is actually doing sports and events for adults in person in the Midwest. And I started looking at virtual stuff, right? So started doing video game tournaments and leagues. And I talked all my friends into buying Xboxes. And being a veteran myself, I started working with several nonprofits that were veteran focused and just started seeing the power behind connecting people through this social activities such as esports, video games, and things like that. And I just thought it'd be a really cool idea to try and get the military veterans all together in a really fun tournament.
What was the significance here? Like, obviously, you were a gamer and you wanted to put this tournament, but what do you hope to accomplish with it? What's your end goal for all of this? Is it just to have fun? Is it to bring awareness? Like, what are your thoughts on the entire kind of concept around the Veteran Verdansk tournament?
Sure. I think, to be honest, there's probably a couple goals. Number one, I think it's just the connectivity that people are looking for, right? And the cool thing with video games these days is you can play from anywhere, right? We're all, I think, sitting in different basements or awesome esports arenas, depending on where you're at, all over the country and playing video games with your friends and, people you may have never met before. So number one is just connecting people through that social activity with others like them who like playing video games. And then I think the number two is, I've been working with the VFW, and the VFW's got a really cool challenge or interesting challenge right now of bringing in younger members to the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And they do some amazing things for veterans all over the country. And so I wanted to help bring that story and tell people what else the VFW can do for them. So it's a kind of combination of connecting people through social activity when we're all stuck at home in a time that we need it, and then also helping people learn more about what they have available to them as a veteran or in the military service.
Last question for you, and I think this is something I want Chad to understand as they're watching tonight, whether they're having fun watching Call of Duty and interacting with one of their favorite games, but I think there's an important note that you strung on. Can you talk a little bit more about the importance of the VFW? I think it often gets glossed over as just something that's available as a service for active and both retired military members, but can you talk about the importance of the VFW, whether they're active or long after their military tenure is completed? What do they do for soldiers? Like, give an overview for someone that knows nothing about what's done there.
Sure. So the VFW, known as the Veterans of Foreign Wars, is essentially a large organization that's nationwide and also global as well. And so the idea is that it was put together for veterans when they got out of military service to have somewhere to go, to not just, BS with other veterans like themselves, not just to play bingo, which is a lot of what people think nowadays is, right, that's the place my grandparents played bingo at. But no, the VFW is still here. It's still thriving. And it does some amazing things in the community. There's all kinds of programs. One of my favorite program that, I just recently heard about was like, if you have a dog, like a service animal or that is for you for a veteran and you need to have some sort of surgery or something done for your dog, the VFW actually can help pay for that, right? So a lot of people think that's, very interesting. I think it's amazing. I have a dog. I know how much they mean to us, and the service animals are so amazing. And so they'll provide funding for things like that. They also have an amazing program for veterans like myself who did get injured. Coming back, they can help get your disability done through the VA. They have programs to help you get higher disability, all kinds of different programs for support and health and different things like that. Mental health, all the stuff that you really need once you get out of active duty.
Yeah, I think that was important for everyone to hear because the younger generation, as they come up through the ranks, no pun intended, but as they grow, whether it's through the interaction of the VFW through esports or just hearing about it from family members in active duty, I think a lot of people needed to hear that to understand entirely what it is, to be even introduced, even if it was tonight. So thank you for that. I want to kick it over to Aaron as well. A versatile perspective here. You've got the esports jersey on. We're starting to see some of the military branches delve into this esports section. So I'm excited because you have a versatile perspective in gaming, and you also work on like radar systems as well. So you have this, versatile perspective here. Do you see any translation between the ability to read real-time radar environments and the skills directly translatable to in-game scenarios you might see in Call of Duty?
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. As a E2 NFO, I can say that a lot of the skills that I learned there, I've translated amazingly to my video games in general, but the specific ones that I think are really important to highlight, besides the quick thinking, the snap decision making, is just your comms. I mean, one of the biggest things when you're in the back of the plane is you're talking with who knows how many people, listening to all those different radio conversations happening at the exact same time, and then knowing exactly what to say and to who. And when you translate that into the game, when we're, in Verdansk and we're dropping hot, it's really important for us to be able to communicate both clearly and effectively with each other, and it makes us a better team.
I love hearing that because so many people think that the key to success in a game like Call of Duty is strictly your gunplay, but it's actually being in a correct position, and communication can get you in that way. So I love hearing that there are translations between your skills IRL, so to speak, and then being able to develop those in-game. You are the self-proclaimed team captain of the Goats and Glory esports team. I read that in the bio, and I love the word self-proclaimed there. How do you get your team to succeed in this environment? Obviously, you have the comms. Like, how do you inspire your team? Are you very firm? Is there one speaker? Like, talk to me about a little bit more about detail of those comms. Like, is it one directive to the unit? Is it multiple in conversation? What does that look like? Maybe in comparison to what you do as your full-time job, and how that applies to the game as well.
I would say that the biggest thing when we go in is we do have one voice that is leading, right? It's always important to have, in the military, right, a clear chain of command. So we do have that one voice that sort of has the big picture. It's me, usually, on our team, which is why I self-proclaim myself the captain, right? So it's usually my voice you're going to hear making the big calls, the big picture where we're dropping the general stuff, but you're going to hear a lot of every single member of the team making quick decisions to things that happen immediately, whether it's to get the right flank around a building or to push straight through. You're going to be able to hear in our comms every single person speaking intelligently and effectively, and it's something that they've all trained throughout their different careers in the Navy. It's something that they've been trained well there, and they're putting it to great use. I can honestly say playing with this team is probably the smoothest transition, just because we work so well together. We've been trained to work well together, and it carries over here.
I think the key takeaway for me, as someone who's got a lot of experience in gaming but still always want to learn, is one voice. Oftentimes when you're a squad, it is chaotic and things can happen at rapid fire and you lose that focus. Suddenly 10 voices are pointing out of a position, somebody's rotating the wrong way, and that's how you lose matches. So that's a really key point, pertinent point right there. And I love hearing that. Last question for you, sir. As the captain of the Goats and Glory, we just talked about it. Can you explain a little bit to those unfamiliar in chat? The military branch is getting more and more involved in esports, but what do esports look like for the Navy? Do you compete in similar teams like colleges do at the professional level? Is it just for scrimmages? Like, what does the environment look like for the Navy right now?
Yeah, so we are brand new, right? It's basically a year out, almost to date, that we started really the Navy esports program. And we're just sort of gathering our members. So we're getting all of our members in one space, and then we're going to expand. So we've got, about 10 to 15 games that we're really focused on training our teams, getting our team really well versed in, and then not just competing, but also, being able to not competing just professionally, but also being able to compete against, local high schools, college teams, really, show them the ropes in some of their favorite games, and also see what they have to teach us too. That way we can get better and compete better as well.
I see some transitions there easily. I mean, something that you could take away if someone younger probably doesn't have the comms firmed up, and you guys might learn a meta strat that's formed on Reddit that they teach about the new guns that you should be using. So I see some some translation there, and I love that. Thank you for your input. I certainly appreciate you. We're going to go over to Mike real quick. You've served more than 12 years in the United States Air Force, and you co-founded the Air Force Gaming Initiative. You recently transitioned to Space Force, which is really cool. But I know one of your primary focuses is a more down-to-earth focus on mental health for your military service members. Can you talk to me about the importance of military mental health and the benefits that military members can gain from gaming?
It's a broader conversation that I think we have time for here, but the biggest hard-hitting thing is as we start to draw down in active conflict around the world, one of the biggest things that's hitting our folks at home, downrange to include our veterans and our retirees, is the current suicide rate. With COVID having everyone be stuck in their homes or in their basements, what have you, being disconnected from all of those support services like the VFW, which is really great because that's the home, right? You can go there, connect with all your old war buddies and whatnot, share war stories. We're stuck at home, and that's not doing anything for our current, I'll say suicide count, right?
Yeah.
So for our program, one of the biggest hard-hitting things that we've been really trying to sell and make sure that the Air Force as a whole really buys into is the idea that we're here to digitally connect people. We're here to, over the internet, break down those walls and get people together, get them playing games, something to get them out of their own head, right? Let them know that, hey, just because you might physically be separated from everyone, you have thousands of people who are ready to hop in a lobby with you and go get some high scores in Verdansk and what have you. Maybe not make it to the final circle if you're a good gamer like I am. I say good. Maybe not make it to the final circle, but you can drop in with your buddies and have that connection.
Yeah, it's important, and I love that you raised that point because I think it would be remiss if we didn't bring up the importance of mental health. Whether you're a gamer sitting at home that's sad that high school's ended and all your friends are separated, or COVID has separated you and a pandemic doesn't allow you to meet anymore, the same comfort and the same mental fatigue that you feel is no different than someone that's in a high-stress environment. So the point there was to drive home the fact that military members are also seeking that same shelter, and the fact that the camaraderie you're looking for, the passion, the fun, and the laughs. Like we're all humans at the end of the day, and we're seeking that. So I really appreciate that. I wanted to follow up on that question because it is a lot to bite off in the time that we have. That there is a larger conversation there, and I'm sure there's going to be some links shared from eFuse that will allow people to engage and go deeper down that rabbit hole. An important one nonetheless. But now that you've been involved in the Air Force Gaming Initiative, have you seen lasting impacts in those involved? You talked about what you hope to accomplish, but do you feel you're making a true impact on lives now?
So I can confidently say that I've had no less than 3 individuals come forward and say that Air Force Gaming has changed my life. At least one of them said Air Force Gaming has saved my life. And being 3, 10, 20, or just one, every single one of those is a great impact and a huge win to really highlight what we're doing and the impact that we're trying to have on the force as a whole. And
for those, like I said, want to venture in there more, there's a deeper conversation to be had, and I encourage you to do so. And it's something that's okay to be talked about. That's what I want to make it is okay to talk about this. And I think it's just as important as having fun in the game as it is to understanding some of the things that are truly going around. You look it right in the eye, and you can only get stronger from there. Appreciate that, Mike, as we're going to head over to Chris real quick. Chris,
of course.
I wanted to ask you a question because the U.S. Army has not been able to do in-person recruiting, as we just touched on with Mike, because of the pandemic. It's really difficult to get to new people who are interested in being involved in that particular military branch. And I think that probably spreads to all the branches as they are trying to do the recruiting process. So it's esports teams that have been stepping up to fill in that gap, ever increasing their presence online. How have streaming platforms like Twitch, Facebook, formerly Mixer, and YouTube changed the way recruitment is possible?
So the way it completely changes everything is, from our perspective, we're showing you who the soldier is. So of our teams, for example, in the U.S. Army, we have the Golden Knights, Army Parachute Team, we have the Army Marksmanship Unit. These are units that have been around for 5 decades and have always been around. People have seen them at their favorite football game or at the shotgun competitions in the Olympics, all these different types of events. Esports is completely different. We all know this. For online and LAN, there's more than one ways to do this. And the difference here is in esports, in our specific team is I'm showing you the person underneath the uniform. So whether they're competing in a competitive environment, whether they're streaming and doing something fun, spicy wing challenge, you're getting to see the person versus specifically just a military occupational specialty, right? So that really kind of drives home that who we are as people. Some people might assume that it doesn't matter what branch of service, right? That you have to be a specific kind of person to be able to do a specific branch or a specific field. No, you don't. You are a unique person on this planet. You're the only one of you on this planet. Your limits are the only ones that you put on yourself.
Have you seen an influx in not only new recruitment, people who are passionate about gaming, but have existing military personnel come forward and want to be involved?
Absolutely. So in our program, we do support accessions and recruiting, but we also concentrate on competition as well as in service. So the community. So I kind of put in that 3-pillar approach of supporting and recruiting. We want to be competitive, and then we also want to help the community. So our Discord is majority current serving. We have about 18,000 within our Discord, and this is all either current serving, active duty, Army Reserve, Army National Guard, that are all in there to, even if they don't want to be competitive in that particular title, they just love a title like Call of Duty, for example, then they have other people in the Army that love that game too. Maybe not be at a competitive level, but now they're creating sub-communities within our community, right? So it's almost like a family within a family. Because even if, for example, you love anime, we get the Village of Weebs chat in our Discord, right? Like whatever you love, we highlight all those things. We're a community, right? We're a family. So we all come together in that Discord, and it all kind of supports all those strengths, that kind of 3-pillar approach that we look at. And as we continue on, yes, we're going to continue to push competitively, and showcase our soldiers to support recruiting and sessions, and then we'll also continue to build our community.
Who's the best and most competitive and even talented esports military branch that's out there right now?
Army. Also out.
Yeah, November 2018 is when we started. We're kind of longest in the two, so we obviously support everyone being a part of this. This is what the awesome part of it is, having all the branches of service come together and do this. As some of the things that we're doing, this is basically turning into the Army Navy of the 21st century, right? Like everybody watches the Army Navy game, right? We're trying to turn this into the DoD version of that for the 21st century.
I think we are. Aaron went silent. Aaron didn't say anything. He's just
Didn't say a word.
He said he's giving me that look like we're new, but buddy, I'm gonna meet you on the dance floor here tonight. So I love that. I love the passion that comes from being proud of your military branch, but the camaraderie that comes together to understand that there's a bigger goal in mind, and that's what I hope to accomplish tonight. Luke, I want to toss it over to you. We're the first one to talk about it tonight. I'm gonna give you the exit row to let you give a moment. If there's anything you want to talk about there at the end, would you like to take a moment to say anything in closing about the event, about the VFW, about all these military branches? I'm going to leave the floor to you just for a couple minutes. Let us know what's on your mind before we kick it out of here.
Yeah, thank you very much. I first want to thank you guys, eFuse, all the guys here that are been a part of this, and it's going to be a really good time. Before long, maybe I'll have the VFW in that conversation of esports teams, because you maybe go Army, Navy, and then when you graduate, you move into the VFW esports team. But I think I also want to echo what Mike said about mental health. It's one of my top priorities. And I think it's really important. And people don't think about mental health when they're playing video games, most likely, but the connection, the camaraderie, even yelling at the screen, right, is probably a little bit of mental health. So I think that's, to me, is a very, very important. And I think all of this goes into that. It's bringing the community together, giving them something to do, which the VFW is a big proponent of. So if you're a veteran out there and you're looking to be a part of the community, we are open to taking VFW members. You can sign up via the link that'll be provided during the stream. And then also you can join your local VFW post to find other great people just like you, and then hopefully try out for our VFW esports team coming soon.
I love hearing it. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all you do and have done for our nation, for everyone involved. If it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't be having tournaments like this. We wouldn't have the luxury of playing video games in our house and enjoying the camaraderie, enjoying the mental health, enjoying the competition, and enjoying the luxuries that we do have today in this country. Thank you all for being here. Back to you guys as we're heading back to the battlegrounds of Verdansk. I'm OG Pickle. Get out of here, knuckleheads. We'll see you soon.